The story begins with a mysterious girl fearlessly jumping off of a roof. Well, back to our main protagonist named Kou Yamori. At midnight he sneaks out of the house while reflecting on how boring his life is, but at least he enjoys wandering around at night. After some not so great swinging, life hits as he remembers rejecting a girl at school for the sole reason that he doesn't understand the meaning of liking someone. After wandering around he remembers reading that alcohol helps with insomnia and he spots a vending machine. Although keep in mind that Yamori is 14 and as he was trying to buy a beer he gets interrupted by a mysterious girl wearing a black hood. Of course Yamori freaks out and tries to escape, but she assures him that she doesn't mean him any harm and on top of that she knows why he can't sleep and is willing to help him. Upon hearing this Yamori calms down a little and they both start wandering around the city. Okay, my guy is seriously looking to get his organs harvested. Well, after coming across some drunk dude, she takes advantage of this opportunity and explains to Yamori that most people stay up late because they have some unfinished business or they're unsatisfied with how their day went. Keep in mind that she's doing this all while casually messing around with the drunk dudes. Seeing this Yamori gets perplexed by her god-tier social skills and tries to copy her, but one of the dudes ends up puking on him. Laughter sensing that he got comfortable, she introduces herself as Nazuna and invites him over to her place, all while stating that she will help him sleep well. Upon entering she starts undressing. Okay, at this point my guy is either about to score or wake up missing a kidney, worth the risk. Seeing her undress and being the Virgo he is, Yamori freaks out and tries to leave, but is then stopped by her stating to trust her and just relax. After creepily watching him try to sleep for 30 minutes, Yamori pretends to be asleep. Falling for his trick, Nazuna is then revealed to be a vampire as she takes a sip out of Yamori, remarking that this kid tastes amazing, while Yamori gets up and blankly stares at her in shock. Thinking on her feet, she tells him that there is a huge mosquito on his neck and that she got it with a good slap. Seeing through her BS, especially after spotting blood in her mouth, he freaks out thinking that he will turn into a vampire, but Nazuna reassures him. Otherwise curious Yamori asked how does a human turn into a vampire, but she dodges the question. Annoyed by this, Yamori starts pressuring her into the matter, to which she finally caves in and reveals while blushing like a beetroot that a person can only turn into a vampire if they fall in love with the vampire who sucked their blood. Well, after being astonished by her night lifestyle and mostly for her ability to fly and do cool stuff, he promptly asks her to turn him into a vampire. Hearing this she gets extremely embarrassed as she had never created offspring before, but still she ends up accepting under one condition. Well, more like two. One, to let her have the taste of that sweet blood of his, and to never bother her about the lovey-dovey stuff. All the next day Yamori goes out looking for Nazuna, but no matter where he looks he just can't seem to find her up, until she casually appears in front of him stating that she was just looking for a quick bite. Upon hearing this Yamori gets pissed, as sucking blood is an intimate act for vampires, even when it is so far as to jokingly call her the S-word, and a she-devil, and not wanting to run into this problem again he asks for her contact info, but is then surprised when she takes out an ancient-looking phone, stating that every time she tries to buy new tech they just come up with newer models. Well, those are the drawbacks for being an immortal being, I guess. Well, moments later she invites him to bed and tries to suck his blood, but Yamori refuses as he's still partly jealous that she told him she tried to suck blood from other people. Nazuna then blushes and embarrassingly confesses that she was actually looking for him the whole time. Now she only said that because she was too embarrassed. Yamori is touched by her words, so he lets her have a sip. And that, boys, how you get a hot vampire chick to commit. Later that day Yamori brings some special bracelets that let them communicate over long distances. Nazuna gets it very excited and asks him if they can take them on a test drive. Flashbacks show that Yamori's first time ever buying a pair of these was in efforts to make a new friend, and as he hid the second one in a place around his block where it's not particularly hard to find, until one day he finally found out that the second pair was taken by somebody, but for some reason he lost interest and never used it again. Upon hearing his little sob story, Nazuna starts hysterically laughing, stating that he was a nut job kid. After going on a little adventure using the bracelets, Yamori tells her from afar that they're acting like a couple who just started dating, embarrassing her yet again. Soon after they fly onto the school's rooftop, Yamori then reflects on how much fun they've had these last few days. He then calls her her Nazuna-chan for the first time just before asking her to be his friend. Later that night while he was looking for Nazuna, the other transmitter in his wrist receives a signal, just as another girl who has the other receiver in her wrist appears beside him and calls his name. It's then revealed that her name is Akira, a childhood friend of his, that, well, she used to sit next to him while he watched ants when they were young, and how she got the receiver. She saw him accidentally place it on her mailbox and assumed that he wanted to talk to her. Yamori, realizing that everything was a big misunderstanding and not having the heart to correct her, he greets her as a friend, to which she responds that she's happy to see him again, especially after he stopped coming to school, which worried her as she was planning on calling him using the wristband. Since she doesn't have his number, wanting to see him again, Akira invites him to meet tomorrow at this time again. The next day, after they're done with the blood-sucking stuff, Nazuna starts teasing him about him doing his thing and just leaving, which embarrassed him. She then takes the joke forward by saying he's probably going to see another girl, to which Yamori starts acting suspicious. After leaving, he meets with Akira, but out of nowhere Nazuna appears and starts teasing the both. She then proves to Akira that their relationship is merely physical when she drinks his blood in front of Akira, shocking her and embarrassing the hell out of Yamori. At the cafe, Yamori tells Akira that he allows Nazuna to drink his blood due to the dissatisfaction of school life and also in hopes of one day becoming a vampire. Akira tells him that she feels the same about school, but still she pushes onwards, just before suspiciously asking him to return to school with her, as it would be a lot more fun with the two of them there. Feeling uncomfortable, Nazuna introduces herself. Akira then gives her the cold shoulder, stating that she's a literal monster. At this point Nazuna excuses herself and storms off, to which Yamori chases after her. He then asks her if she's mad, to which she brushes him off and flies away. After chasing her around the city, Yamori finally gives up and calls her using the wristband. He then apologizes for seeing Akira in secret. However, Yamori is then surprised when suddenly she appeared in front of him, telling him that she was just worried that they are going to see each other less if he returned to school, and apologizing for acting weird, just before she steals a kiss from him and flies away, leaving Yamori in shock. The next day Yamori is hesitant about meeting up with Nazuna, so to make up his mind he goes on a little walk beforehand. While at the city center he spots a couple kissing, and remembering what happened last night, he momentarily gets embarrassed just before he realizes that kissing is something people who love each other do. Reflecting on how he felt a weird sensation when Nazuna kissed him, he gets happy as he thinks that he finally has fallen in love with her. Just then Nazuna appears in front of him all mad, because he's late. Yamori tells her the supposed news and invites her to suck his blood, and embarrassed Nazuna does so. Expecting to become a vampire, Yamori is disappointed when Nazuna starts teasing the hell out of him, as she explains that he probably just got aroused when she kissed him. Later that night Yamori meets up with Akira and invites her back to Nazuna's place. Flashbacks show that Akira lives a very boring cookie-cutter life, as her day consists of waking up, walking to school, walking back from school, taking a shower, and rinse and repeat, till the point that the most interesting thing that happened to her this month was meeting Yamori. Back to reality, Akira reflects on how she misjudged them, as so far their relationship seems wholesome, well, just before Nazuna offers her a kiss if she wins against her in a video game, making her take back what she just thought. Well, anyways, they spend the next couple of hours talking and playing video games up until it starts raining, forcing Akira to spend the night. Nazuna then takes the opportunity to start making some threesome jokes, just before she lewdly drains Yamori in front of her, making him extremely embarrassed. Akira then asks Yamori why he hasn't turned into a vampire yet. To Nazuna's embarrassment, he then tells her that first he needs to fall in love with Nazuna before he can become one. Akira then tells Yamori that she still supports him no matter what he chooses to become, but still, if he becomes a vampire, she would always be his friend, plus she will never stop trying to drag him back to school. The next day Akira is surprised that she slept well, as she almost never gets a full night of sleep. Nazuna then states that it's because she was satisfied with how her day went. Waking in the late afternoon, Nazuna decides to go wash up in a bathhouse, but before entering she instructs the clerk to alert her if her wrist receiver begins beeping. Moments later she bolts out of the bath when it does, meaning Yamori Yamori has finally waken up. After meeting him outside, wearing nothing but a long jacket, Yamori begins to have some not safer work thoughts about her new look. After he has taken a bath himself, Nazuna helps herself to an extra large sip out of him. Feeling drained, he points out to a nearby hotel to rest up, but unbeknownst to Yamori, they enter a love hotel. There Nazuna explains that she can decipher what he's thinking based on the taste of his blood, saying that she knows about his little lewd thoughts, making him embarrassed. After leaving, Yamori gets jealous when Nazana spots a person from who she has drank blood before, but she reassures him that he's the only one at the moment. They then head to her apartment where Nazuna reveals that she runs a home massage parlor, as a way to lure tired people to suck their blood. Just before she offers a massage free of charge, while doing so Yamori can't help but feel relaxed and a bit funny, if you know what I mean, especially after she massages his pressure points. Nazuna takes this opportunity to take a sip of Yamori. However, they're interrupted by the arrival of a client tired. After massaging him, Nazuna offers a kiss to Yamori if he attends to the client in her place. Kiyosumi aka the client recalls the first night she took Nazuna's massage services. It was after she got off work all tired and gloomy, but right afterwards she felt all better. Back in the present, Yamori undertakes her massage all while trying not to get too excited about his reward. After learning his age, Kiyosumi asks about his motivations. Yamori states that he simply got fed up with school and just wants to enjoy his nights. Remembering that she used to be just like him, Kiyosumi realizes that she is genuinely unhappy at her work and breaks down crying right after her boss calls her back to the office. Yamori then refuses to let her answer the call, stating that she will enjoy this night no matter what it takes. Yamori then calls on Nazuna and requests her help, so she throws her out a window. Ultimaker feel the thrill of a near-death experience. Well, after they land safely, Yamori apologizes for the scare and tells Kiyosumi his and Nazuna's secret, saying that he wants to become a vampire to enjoy the nightlife. He then takes her on a walk down the middle of the street, to which she gets a sense of freedom. Kiyosumi then thanks to both of them for alleviating some of her stress and encourages Yamori to achieve his goal. However, Yamori tells her that if he succeeds he will turn her into a vampire as well, delighting Kiyosumi and embarrassing Nazuna. Sometime later they attend a night pool resort where Yamori angrily pulls Nazuna away from two guys hitting on her. Sensing his jealousy, Nazuna flies him to another pool where they enjoy themselves just before she drinks his blood. Okay folks, that's all for today, but don't forget hit the like button and subscribe, and while you're here check out some of our latest videos.